Hey Canucks fans, hope you're well. On this Sunday, have a bunch of Canucks news to talk about stemming from practice at Rogers Arena today. Yes, coming off the 3-2 loss in overtime, the disappointing loss to the Minnesota Wild. I was there at that game with legendary Andrew Chang. We had a great time catching up. And unfortunately, we saw the incident between Yakov Trenin and Derek Forbort. Yes, that late punch when Forbort was laying on the ice being restrained by a linesman or a referee, and then Trenin came down with the punch from above. And I guess the biggest piece of news today is we found out that Derek Forbort indeed has a broken orbital bone. Yes, a broken bone around his eye socket, which is horrible. It means he's going to miss many months, not just the 2 games remaining in the season, but he'll be recuperating and recovering from the injury for the next 4 to 5 months. It's a horrible way to enter the summer. A tough year for Derek Forbort already with the passing of his father earlier in the season. So, and I was at the game, so of course I was really mad when I was at the game seeing what this transpired. Then I've been reading the comments and seeing all the breakdowns about the fact that Forbort may have hit Trenin when Trenin was on his knees. So here's my take, and before anyone complains and say, oh, well, you've never played the game at a high level, what would you know? You're right, I've never played the game at a high level. I've never said I've played the game at a high level, but I can kind of understand and kind of observe what's happening. Yes, Forbort did take 2 swings while Trenin was either falling to his knees or on his knees, but one of them was right when Trenin was hitting his knees, and it was a very, honestly, a light punch to his chest. It didn't even connect with his face. It was more hit his padding. And then once Trenin was on his knees, Forbort did do a lighter, and it was a lighter hit to his back. So neither hit his neck or his chin or his cheek or his face or anything. It was one to the chest and one to the back. And yeah, I think the first one was hard to stop because it was right in momentum. It was right when Trenin was going to his knees. The second one, I think it was just reactionary. But then Trenin kind of got up off his knee, so it looked like another reason why I think I don't mind Forbort's punches, honestly, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Canucks fan, because it looked like the fight was still going, and then suddenly Trenin got Forbort onto his back. But then here's the crazy part. Trenin then braces himself by putting his fist on the ice, and then comes up and then punches downward with all the downward force directly to Forbort's face, who couldn't cover up, who's being restrained by the linesman, making sure that his head probably isn't going to get hit, because when Trenin did get Forbort down, it looked like Forbort's head bounced off the ice a little bit. So my point is Forbort was completely defenseless, and then Trenin punches down, after bracing himself, downward, more force, and directly into Forbort's, I guess it was his left eye socket. Horrible. So no supplementary discipline from the NHL, which I think is a joke. And I think it's a joke that Trenin got no supplementary discipline, and that he broke orbital bone on Forbort's face. So really unfortunate. So I all the best to Derek Forbort, who's a UFA, which is really interesting too. He's a UFA, so he could technically get cut by the Canucks or not re-signed by the Canucks while he's recovering from this injury. So a story will track, but the biggest news once again is Derek Forbort suffers a broken orbital bone and no supplemental discipline for Yakov Trenin. And let me know you guys in the comments if you think that what you thought about it when you saw it happen last night, and now that you know about Forbort's injury and no discipline for Trenin. Maybe I'm a little biased because I'm a Canucks fan, obviously, but I still thought it was a very dirty play, and the majority of people, unless you're a Minnesota Wild fan, the majority of analysts and commentators, former players, agents, are saying a similar thing. But let me know in the comments below. Would love to know your thoughts. A couple other things from practice. Good news, Filip Chytil was actually a participant in practice. Some of the drills and some of the skating things, wearing a non-contact jersey. But this is, obviously he's not going to play for the rest of this season, but this is sooner than I thought. Remember, he got hit in March, that Blackhawks game. I was at that game when Jason Dickinson drilled him from behind. And it looked bad because we know that Chytil's had 4 or 5 concussions in his career. Rick Tocchet has said on a couple occasions that Filip Chytil has said that this concussion feels different in a good way, meaning like not as bad as previous ones. It's hard to judge, right? Hard to compare them. But the proof is in the pudding. The fact that he was on the ice today is indeed a good sign. So again, not going to suit up for the last 2 Canucks games. He'll have his whole summer to rehabilitate and to go through protocol, but it's a good sign that Chytil was indeed on the ice today. Not on the ice and probably not going to play for the rest of the season, of course, is Elias Pettersson. We learned that yesterday that Rick Tocchet will likely shut him down for the last 2 games. A lot of talk going to be made about him returning to form, 2 years ago form, and then having a big offseason, including doing some training here. So we'll track that story as it goes. And then a story about Thatcher Demko also will be shut down for the season. Not a physical injury in terms of his body, rather sickness, illness. So no point trying to ramp him up and have him less than 100% for the final 2 games of the year. But Rick Tocchet did make a point of saying this is the first season in a few years where Demko has gone into the offseason not needing surgery on anything. So hopefully this will be a really, really strong offseason of training. And Rick Tocchet even mentioned that he hopes PD kind of sets up a routine, sort of like he kind of alluded to Demko's very, very stringent training routine regimen. So maybe PD could learn from him, kind of hinting at that. Didn't say that directly, but that's kind of what I got from Tocchet's words. And then, so that means Lankinen, they might not play on both. You know, they got San Jose on Monday. They got Vegas in their season finale on Wednesday. Look to see Nikita Tolopilo in one of those games. I bet you Tolopilo plays tomorrow against San Jose, quite frankly. And then you have Lankinen for the fan appreciation night, the last night of the season on Wednesday night. Finally, Tyler Myers, he's missed the last couple games with injury. Looks like Tocchet said he could play if they had to, i.e. fighting for a playoff spot or a position, but instead, what's the point? So he will probably be shut down for the season, and that means 1 call-up, right? We only had 7 defensemen, including Myers. 1 call-up will come from the AHL. So right now, today at practice, it was Hughes, what it was? It was, I think it was Mancini and DPD, Hughes, Hronek, and Pettersson, and no, that doesn't make sense. It was some combination. I looked it up before I started recording, but I can't remember now. But yeah, no Derek Forbort obviously as part of that rotation. So it was, sorry. No, there's only 5 defensemen. What am I talking about? It was, just Hughes and Hronek and DPD and Mancini and Marcus Pettersson were the 5. And then, Hughes, Hronek, Marcus Pettersson, Mancini, and DPD. Myers skated, but not in a regular pairing, of course, and then no Derek Forbort. So that's why, they only have 5 healthy, 5 plus Myers. So that's why they got to bring in a 6th guy. So Ben Kuzma mentioned, could it be Jet Wu? Could it be Christian Wolanin? And then Tocchet was non-committal, just saying no, but they do got to bring up someone from Abbotsford. So it depends. If they want to keep get DPD back on the left side, they could now with Forbort's injury. So you could go Hughes, Marcus Pettersson, and DPD on the left. Then you have Hronek, you have Mancini on the right. So you could call up a right-hander. That means it's either Jet Wu or Cole McCord. Or if you want to keep DPD on the right, then you can call it Christian Wolanin on the left, or maybe even someone else off the board. So we'll see about that as well. So there we go. Some updates on Forbort, on Demko, on Chytil, on Pettersson, and Myers, all stemming from practice. Rick Tocchet talking after practice today. So Canucks fans, let me know in the comments below what storylines stick out to you, and in particular, are you upset, surprised? What's your reaction to this news one day after Trenin gave that late punch to the face of Derek Forbort? Let me know in the comments below. Would love to read, react, and reply. I have my show tonight at 11 p.m., so I hope you can join me 11 p.m. for my live stream. And in the meantime, shout out to my sponsors, Advanced City Experts Real Estate, Coach Patrick Liu, Weight Loss Coach. Thank you, legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Andrew Chang, and Hall of Fame and franchise members. Thanks for your support, and thanks to all of you for watching, liking, and subscribing. On the way out, like the video, subscribe. You can leave a late donation to help me out. And most of all, leave me a comment below your thoughts on any of the news stemming from Canucks practice today. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Stay safe, stay healthy. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. God bless, and go Canucks go.